Hey guys, this is your girl Anique, and it is Chit Chat TV, where we have those hard conversations. If you don't have me on Chit Chat TV _ on the gram, what are you waiting on? Follow me, and I promise I'll follow back. And while you at it, hit the link in the bio. Hey guys, this is your girl Anique, and it is Chit Chat TV, where we have those hard conversations. If you don't have me on Chit Chat TV _ on the gram, what are you waiting on? Follow me, and I promise I'll follow back. And while you at it, hit the link in the bio. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? Yeah, we're gonna talk. Hold on. All right. We're gonna talk. We're gonna get into some things today. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. Hey Jameer, my phone is literally on 1%. Oh my God. You need to plug it in and leave it on the counter and just watch it from the counter. Oh my God, you might not even be able to manage. You can't type when you're on 1%. What the who, the where, and the when is going on, Jameer? Stop playing around. Get it together. Get it together. We're not playing with you. Yes, let me drop the link for those who might be inclined to join the live. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We got an important topic we want to cover today. And I really want you to engage with this subject tonight. I know it is a sensitive one. And of course, with that being said, we're going to be very considerate, in our tone with this topic. It's something that being said, we're going to be very... Hold on, let me pin this real quick. All right. So we know that a lot of times, in our culture, Jamaican culture, you live in a lifestyle of gay, homosexuality, whatever you want to call it now. People have all types of names. Being a part of the LGBTQ, they have all kind of other letters added to it now. So I don't want to misrepresent anything. But, say a lot of people, support that community. That community is definitely a community that is everywhere. You can't miss it. And for a long time, people that engage in that activity hid themselves because of ridicule, judgment, or what people may think of them. We know that in our culture, we use Jamaica because it's one of the main cultures, just one of the cultures that definitely didn't support that for a long time. And if you were considered that, it was a ridicule and a shame, and people would treat you funny. Some people lose their lives behind being considered homosexual or gay or whatever they want to consider, whatever letters they call themselves. Some people are binary, non-binary, whatever the names are. It's a lot. Okay, so I'm not going to act like I can preach them all. I can put them up on Google for you, but we ain't going to do all that. But let's get into this subject tonight. And you see the topic. And I don't want you guys to be shy about it. Our topic is, let's discuss what our culture often dislikes or hate to talk about. And it's sexuality. So we're going to get into some things about it. I'm going to be playing a video for you guys tonight in a reggae voice. You miss me? I was in church on Sunday, just Tuesday. My God, don't you miss me already? Guys, I do appreciate all my true and my genuine supporters. Before I go further, I want to tell you thank you. Oftentimes, people don't thank their supporters, but I want to tell my true supporters thank you. And for all the fake pages that roll up in here with an attitude, sit pretty and you'll be all right. But when you type in the chat, things that are just out of pocket, you get blocked. Like, I have no more patience. All right. So when you come with a little shade, come. Yeah, you can talk your shit. But at the end of the day, don't go too far in my chat. All right, I give you free speech. I really, really do. I let y'all try to talk on the top. I'm not gonna feel like someone can't talk, but you're not gonna disrespect people on this platform. And especially when we're discussing these subjects. You know, I don't want no hate speech in the chat. Be careful of the words you type in the chat, because you don't know how Facebook stay, you know how YouTube stay. All right, so we just want to put out some of those disclaimers out here. Good night to Carol, Annie, Judith, Stephanie, Night All. I see you, Anne Marie, Mowat. I see you. Bless one. Good night, Miss Scott. I see you, Bajan. Yes, Jamir probably gone because he battery upon 1%. So let me go ahead and play this video, and I want you guys to watch with me. And while you watch, please do not relent to give your comment, because this is something I believe is important, and very, very, very important. Hold on. Let's watch this together. Yeah.
Gays and lesbians in Jamaica live in a state of constant fear. We live knowing that the probability of us being killed is very high.
Dwayne Jones was a transgender youth who was chased out of home at about 14 years old. He was killed because he was at a party. He was dressed in female wear, and someone at the party outed him.
This was at a street dance with about 300 people, and it appeared that no one attempted to intervene as they ran him down, stabbed him,
Good night.
shot him 3 times,
Good night.
and then ran over him with a car and left him to die on the side of the road.
How does it reflect on society when you have a 16-year-old kid that's being so brutally murdered and nothing happens, no consequence? When I was in Jamaica and I interviewed over 77 LGBT people, the one thing that we heard time and time again was about how they were not accepted by society. Kids as young as 12 years of age being kicked out of their homes.
I was beaten by 6 guys along with my brother and my mother in Spanish Town, where I had to run and pack my things and leave from that community. That's how I ended up here.
I have been following the homeless LGBT youth who live in storm drains. For these youth, it means that they have shown signs of behavior that is outside of the heterosexual norms. That may mean that they are bullied at home, at school, or bullied within their families. Sometimes communities threaten to beat the gay youth, presumably to beat the gayness out.
So guys, let me ask you, what do you think about someone being homosexual or what's considered gay in those times and being thrown out of their home? And did you, or were you raised in a household that you know that you could never have a sibling that was considered gay or homosexual? And because if they were considered that, your parents, your daddy, based on how he was raised, your mommy wouldn't put up with it. Tell me in the chat if you was raised in one of those types of household that it was a big shame and a disgrace if your dear called yourself a gay person. Good night, Shayla. Good night. Good night. Tell me in the chat, because I'm telling you right now, there's many young people that their own parents chase them out of the house. No, I'm telling you, I grew up in a Christian household. So, I was raised in a household where, they operated under the principles of God's word. But I honestly don't feel like me being my mother's child, if I were to be gay, she would have shunned me, because my mother's heart is just such a motherly woman. And I feel like if you're in a Christian belief system and you're saying, all right, this is a sin, you should also make sure you say stealing and gossiping is a sin and everything is a sin. But people that were considered gay, especially in the older time, it's as if their sin is the greatest sin above all. It's like, to the religious community or people that were even, and not just religious people, because some people were not Christians, and it's not always the Christian that ridicule people, but in every community, the gay people were considered, almost like an outcast, or they looked down on by others. Somebody says, the LGBTQ are still being ostracized in society in Jamaica. All right. All right. So when we think of the effects of this, I want you to answer me, chatters. Do you view somebody by their sexuality? Do you, when they come and you realize a man might be feminine in his presence, right? In how he represent himself, and you're thinking in your head, this guy might be gay or whatever. Are you willing to not hire this person because of his sexuality? Are you willing to not talk to this person because of their sexuality? Are you willing to like act different or treat them different than how you would have treat another man that would have been considered masculine or straight or heterosexual? All right. And I want you guys to really talk the things in the comment. And when you put your comment, put some perspective on it for me so I can read it for the people. So the people can understand what is it you thinking about it. All right. So when I look at individuals, whether they're dark skin, white, whatever skin complexion you are, I look at you as an individual, a person, a human being. All right. I look at you for male and female. But we're also living in a time when people are going with no gender identity at all. All right, some would beg to differ because they are saying, and many are fighting these things, but we're just putting it, we're just talking. All right, because over here we have those hard talk, real talk conversations. So sometimes people will say, all right, you can say you're not a female, but your DNA say it. Somebody will say, okay, you're not a male, but your DNA say it. And if I dig you up 3,000 years from now, and I test you, I can tell that 3,000 years before you was a male character. So there's things in DNA that go so far as to recognize what is considered male and female. The X and the Y chromosomes. When you think of it, all right? No, it's a lot of things that go into DNA. You can't miss it. But we're living in a world that people don't even want to be identified by certain abbreviations, certain words, certain phrases. They don't even want to be considered male or female. They don't even want to consider, what is one of them I hear them talking about recently? When a mother feeds her baby, right? And give the baby suck from the breast and everything, and they have now, partners or whatever they'll call it, couples that are, of the same gender, that go and they have babies because there's ways to do it now scientifically. Many people have children together. I worked with someone who have had children with her spouse and married. I think by now they got married, so the wife, and they have a beautiful baby, right? Because that baby is born in a household that is considered different. You would look at it like, hey, wow. And another person would look at it like, okay. It depends on your lifestyle, how you was raised, your thought process, and the things you've been through. I have gay friends and I love them just the same. Yes. No, I don't treat persons from LGBTQ community different from heterosexual male. Okay. No, and we shouldn't. I believe that we should view individuals as person and human being and who they are. A person's sexuality should not be the first thing you see when someone introduces themselves. First thing, Missy, is your face. Of course, you see the color of their skin. A lot of people like to say, oh, I don't see the color of your skin. Yes, you do. You might not go based on the color of somebody's skin when it comes to hiring or offering opportunity. But, a lot of people, when you see them, and everybody, if you're not blind, you're going to see that you're white, black, or there might be a lighter or a deeper tone or a darker tone or extra dark or extra light. Like, you're going to physically see that unless you're colorblind. And even then, you can recognize an African-American individual by even sometimes the texture of their hair. So sometimes a person, if colorblind, they probably can still tell the difference because we are made different. Right? And just as we are different in culture at times, and we are different in looks at times, we're different in a lot of things. I don't think no one should discriminate a person based on, their culture, based on, how they were raised, what they were taught, but you should respect people for who they are. Now, I know that sometimes individuals who are considered LGBTQ, whatever they consider themselves as, whatever letter, may, get offended by certain things you do because maybe you're not educated or I'm not educated on the correct phrases or the correct statements we ought to make or how to make them or how to be appropriate in a social setting. Now, these things are taught now. Many you can go all over and find trainings on how to operate in certain settings, because in our reality, when you work in a professional world, you're going to be working with individuals that are gay and be or whatever in the LGBTQ community. So you're not going to say, well, I'm not going to respect my boss because my boss is LGBTQ. You're not going to respect the CEO because the CEO lives with a man. Like, you got to view people for who they are. And in every setting is, what's considered appropriate. Now, I don't appreciate the abuse that people go under, especially people in our community of Jamaica. And a lot of people that were in that community were shunned even by the church as well. And people in the community around them. So when people are gay, sometimes people in the church may turn their back and say blase squaw, and that will make them not look at their own sin. And which is hard, because if you're in the church and you're in God's church, which is filled with his love and his mercy, and you're saying, okay, this individual got sin in them, would you not take that individual in to pray? Would you not take that individual in to teach them God's word? Would you not take that individual in to show them God's love and his mercy through whatever they've been through? Mark that everybody that is gay on a different term. Remember this. Some people are gay for play. They ain't really gay. They sitting just playing around because it's a new thing to do. I see a lot of young people, oh, I'm gay today, and tomorrow they're not. So individuals do, play around with that. But there's others that says, yo, since I've been 3 years old, I've felt this and I've been this. Some persons, when they got older, they said, guess what? I've always been this way, but I've hid it. Some people have been gay all their life. They never told nobody. They never show any gay signs. And some people are gay because, guess what? Somebody brutally hurt them. And they cannot stand to look at male character anymore, or they cannot stand to look at female character anymore. So some people are gay or in the LGBTQ community based on pain. Not everybody, though. Because some people, they didn't go through that. That's not why they choose that lifestyle. Some people were introduced in that lifestyle forcefully, which I don't think is fair, because children are impressionable. Whatever you put in front of them, they're going to choose it because they're impressionable. I think you should leave children to grow up, live normal lives. And when they come of age, they make their decision as to what they want to do. No, I don't agree. Treat persons from the LGBTQ community different from the we can't do that. No, someone says lovely set of people. No, we also talk about it because we got to look at it from both sides. There's people in the LGBTQ community that also go about rioting and forcing individuals to accept their way of living. Listen, everyone's way of living is different. As long as you respect people and you don't impede on their personal space, you don't have to tell nobody they got to accept your life, because they don't have to. Just like you choose your life and someone else choose your life, a person choose to be a doctor, a person choose to be a lawyer. They choose different life. You might not like lawyers. Somebody might not like judges. But guess what? They're all important in this society somewhere. Somebody talk to me. I mean, I know if I'm crazy, but not because you don't want something, don't make it not going to be there or not make it present. Yeah, see them as human first. Absolutely. No, let's get a little bit into this before we play a little bit more of the video. There are individuals that was touched. I've heard stories, seen stories. Family members violate you. Most of us in Jamaica may have a story that says somebody did something to me that was not right sexually. When children are introduced to things early, such as pornography and stuff like that, they start indulging in activities and being inquisitive to things that they're not mature enough to accept and understand mentally. I don't feel like children should be having sex and engaging in sexual activities, boyfriend and girlfriend at a tender stage. Why? Because they're not, number one, mentally developed to understand that even though your body starts feeling some type of way, you getting involved in that action can cause a serious reaction, diseases, pregnancy, all type of stuff. So think of it, when someone is often forced and juki jam hard, raped by family members, friends, whoever, somebody you trust, somebody you don't know, a stranger, you got picked up in a taxi, whatever the story may be, because there's stories for days that are out there right now where people are being hard wickedly, them womb mash up, and also people that have been hard by fathers, their own father, mash up them womb, uncles at a very tender age 5, 6, 7, they insert and penetrate the children. And those are the same masculine men who beat gay people and fight them. The man who touched their nieces and sisters and cousins. The man that will chop you up and put you in a body bag when he hear that you a GAY or a part of the LGBTQ community. Oftentimes I tell you, you got to check your heart. Because if you're going to beat somebody for being in an LGBTQ community, you got a real problem in this life. And you yourself is considered a murderer if you do something to take their life. Because if you think that being a murderer is less incriminating, like it's more incriminating, and being LGBTQ is not incriminating. But for you to commit or do anything against somebody that can land you in jail, it don't make no sense. Based on your sexuality, it makes no sense. Why would I go out and abuse people because they're considered homosexual or gay or in the LGBTQ community, whatever they classify themselves as? And if you are in the church and your belief, whatever your belief system for Christians rather is not this, you're still not going to go out and put a flag on, say, you gay person, you LGBTQ, God hates you, God hates you. Like, that's not the way to bring anyone to Christ or the understanding of God's word. So either way you take it, people's sexuality should not matter in a scenario. No, let's talk about this a little further. Some people are hypersexualized behind this LGBTQ system and movement as well. So they come out and they dress in all these provocatory things and they say that is the representative of what LGBTQ is. And it's not. You are not going to strip naked in thongs in front of my child. No, we're not doing that. We're not going to be doing splits and doing all the extra flamboyant stuff in front of children, because at the end of the day, kids need to be protected. So that's what I'm saying. Everything you do is with boundaries and balance. You should not be worried about someone's sexuality, but you shouldn't tell me that because you are in the LGBTQ community, you are allowed to walk around here and wild out, and because you're a man and you're gay, you think you can run around here and argue with females and pretend like you're a female. Because some of you gay men do that. You're very festive. You're very combative with females. I don't know why. And this is not for every LGBTQ or gay man. But some of you are saucy and you just feel like you gotta like compete with females. There's no competition when it comes to who we are as individuals. Whatever community that you're a part of. There's no competition. And that lack of respect that often floats around all over. Like you shouldn't be disrespecting people that don't want to accept your lifestyle. You should not sit there and tell somebody you are discriminating me because you don't accept me and what I do. What? I am an individual and I have a right to stand in that and not even. I don't got to come over to no parade if I don't want to. And I shouldn't be considered a hater or, oh, I hate the community because I don't go. No. You got family that's gay, friends that's gay. You're not going to walk around and treat them funny. Because Their sexuality does not define who they are. Some of them are beautiful people. People be around. They are smart people. But they're just human like anyone else. They're not even separated. We are all people. We are all people. Sexuality should not even be something that is in the forefront when we are dealing with each other. Anyways, so I'm going to pause with, because I can yap away. So I'm going to play the video for you guys. Give me a second here. I'll mute myself and let y'all watch this all through for a little while. All right? Thank you guys for the comments.
Out of him. And the threat can be escalated to threats of death or threats of burning down the home in which the youth lives. These persons feel that there is nowhere to go.
Homosexuality is not necessarily illegal in Jamaica. However, Jamaica does have the buggery laws on its books. The buggery laws are very old laws that come from when Jamaica was under British rule. While it doesn't outlaw homosexuality, it does outlaw anal sex between men. But the interpretation by different government agencies, including the police, fuels homophobia.
There have been too many cases in which persons who have attacked members of the LGBT community have not been charged, let alone convicted.
I was beaten up by 4 police officers in a pharmacy in Kingston in front of over 200 people. I went to live in hiding. One day I was stuck in traffic and a man walked across from a parked car on the other side of the road, and he came across and said to me, he said, "We find you and we're going to kill you." That was a life-changing moment. I didn't go back home.
People are leaving Jamaica because they fear for their lives. They don't feel safe at home in Jamaica, and they're moving to countries like Canada to find safety.
The reason I left Jamaica is because I was kicked out of the closet, so I had to flee the country that I was born in to seek refuge in a country where I am fully accepted for my sexual orientation.
I worry every day about the LGBT people in Jamaica. I worry every day. I get phone calls, I got emails, I get letters asking for help. My life is in danger back home. Can you help?
No one deserves to be hunted and chased out of their homeland. And I think it's supported by our government in the fact that they don't do anything. Why we just can't be allowed to be who we are and treated with respect and dignity.
Sorry about that, guys. I had to I don't got my damn thing wet, so my computer was hold on, guys. I gotta wipe this off. I don't got my mouse wet. Hold on. When I tell you guys, this thing right here is sad. This thing right here is sad. So we had somebody who wanted to give some comments on this. We're gonna discuss your comment, Sarah. And discuss your comment. All right, hold on, let me put you up on the live. All right, go right ahead. Turn me down in the back. Turn me down in the back. Turn me down in the back. Clear it off the screen. Clear it off your screen. You got to get it off your screen. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Perfect.
How you doing?
Perfect.
I hope everybody is well. Can you hear me?
Yep. Chatters, you can hear her? Let me know in the chat if you can hear her, please. Go ahead.
I was just listening to what you were saying and listening to that young man, and my heart just feels kind of heavy, specifically because a lot of times we don't stop and think about what persons go through. We only think about what we don't like, and what we think is we being incorrect, whether it's from a spiritual perspective or just a fleshly thinking process. What we all need to understand is that the person, we were only called here to do two things, and I think we discussed this several times, Sonique. Two things: to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, might, and strength, and to love thy neighbor as thyself. Now, those are two commandments that what we were called to do within the New Testament living. Those folks called for 10 commandments, and they were given. And a lot of times we never stop to think why they weren't able to conform to those commandments. God only gave us two. So our job is to just sit back and love our neighbors as ourselves. Though we don't always like what we see, He never told us that. He told us to love them. So that requires that there's a deeper understanding that we all must seek for, and He's the only one that can give it. Right? He's given us the indwelling of the Holy Spirit, a lot of us, and what we do with it makes all of the difference. Sometimes we do what our flesh says and disobey what the Holy Spirit is guiding us to do. So I think along the lines when you were discussing the issues related to the flamboyance of the gay and lesbian community and the queer community and so on and so forth, a lot of times we don't see them as fighting for just a place in this world. And that is why they are attracted to those types of, sometimes extraordinary means of showing who they are, being loud and proud, because they're not accepted. If we were just to stop and think about why they are doing it, they're fighting for a place in this world. Now, granted, I can't take off my skin color. You can't take off your skin color. A lot of us in the chat cannot take off our skin color. But we were subjected to prejudices, and we're still subjected to prejudices on racism and all kinds of isms that make no sense. Just so that the classism that people are trying to promote, whether it's political or whether it is, just, daily living, can exist. So we need to really be mindful of all of these things when we make our judgments. That is a lot of time costing communities and places like Jamaica, Caribbean countries, Asian countries, great people. If we can just love and let God do the judging of who these people are, we'll be okay. You understand?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily always agree with certain things people say, but does it mean I hate them? Absolutely not. It just means that I have to go back to the drawing board and ask God to provide that love that I need to have in order to engage with this person and explain to him or her or them or they or he or she or whatever they decide to call themselves at any given time, that the love of the Lord will surely be upon you if you just seek His presence. And that's it. God and time. God and time.
I appreciate that.
All right, my
Thank
dear.
you.
Bless up, everybody.
All right, you have a good one.
You too.
Bye. Sarah, if you want to hit the link to share, you can. But Sarah says, I was married to a woman and I got divorced from her on the grounds of abuse and cheating in 2016. I once lived that life. My focus now is on God. No judgment here for anyone. Absolutely. And guys, if you pay attention, there is a video interview that I did on Chit Chat TV that I had someone tell their testimony and their story. And they lived that life most of their life, and then God changed their life and they chose to go a different way. No judgment there. Guess what? That's another story somebody has under their belt that they can share. And in this particular video, that person expressed how, they why they went into this, and it was from the angle of pain. Not everybody that's in it was necessarily somebody that, oh, I've been doing this all my life and I've been sneaking and doing it. No, some people never got into that until they're old and they were sick of them men's that way they were dealing with, and them men's were just doing them bad, and they were like, I am done with these men's. Okay, child. Some of these men's was like, I'm done with these women's. Okay, I'm putting the S on there. I'm being a little extra. But all right. So Sarah, you can always hit that link if you like talking about that. Someone else says it takes all kind of people to make people. As it goes right now, most decent people are run left beautiful Jamaica. Only gangsters and gunmen soon left down there. Absolutely, people are definitely migrating right now, and running away and getting what they call. Is it asylum? Is it asylum? Is that what it's called? A refugee, not refugee, but asylum. Because people are running for their lives. They're running from dying, and a lot of them live most of their years under threats. In Jamaica, I'm doing great. I just trust you to. Let me tell you something, man. Some people in Jamaica endured it. They went through it before they even got an opportunity to left the country. They went through it. You hear me? It's not a thing that I believe is worth beating somebody over. I don't think someone's, sexual orientation is something that you should go attack your neighbor for. Like, is you in your neighbor's bed? Like, because if you in your neighbor's bed, that's a little too much. Is you in your neighbor's bed? That's what I'm trying to find out. Cause I don't feel like it's my place to just get involved in someone's sexual life and what they decide to do. Like, that's just right. Like, come on, man. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in it. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Let me show y'all another situation that I came across. I'm gonna let y'all hear this. Because this is a mess out here in these streets. People are just doing all type of sexual exploits. Honestly, it don't make no sense. It just don't. All type of sexual exploits. Let me see. I'm gonna add this to the screen real quick. And I don't know why people feel Dawson TV. Is it Dawson? Oh, Dawson Speaks TV. I want y'all to hear this for a quick second.
All that information is in the description box below. Make sure you go over to my other YouTube channel, Dawson Speaks, subscribe over there, and hit the little bell next to the subscribe button so you get notifications when I drop a new video. Now let's get into this stuff.
Follow him.
All right, y'all. Thanks for clicking on the video. Hope you all are doing well. Now, I know I've been away for a little minute. One of my favorite people in the world made her transition recently. My aunt, who is a supporter of mine and definitely watched my show and would always tell me, nephew, speak. And so I know she would still want me to keep speaking. So that's what we're going to do now. I can hear her saying, boy, you better speak. You better tell the truth. So let's get into this topic. Now, this story is coming out of Bloomington, Indiana. A former college football player is accused of robbing, kidnapping, and threatening to kill a man he met through the dating app Grindr. Deshaun Brown faces charges of robbery, kidnapping, and battery. He is a former Indiana University football player. Bloomington police were called to investigate a prior robbery at the home. When the officers arrived, a 30-year-old man said he had been robbed earlier that morning by a man later identified as Deshaun Brown, who he had invited to his apartment for sex. Take a breath. Y'all, tell me, what's going on with these football players named Deshaun? Because let's not forget, we have Deshaun Watson. Watson of the Browns, the quarterback of the Browns, who has right now what he's facing 24 civil lawsuits for alleged sexual assault and misconduct, going to those massage parlors.
You hear
And they
that?
said that there were over
Terrible.
66 women in 17 months. I mean, that's sad. And this kind of reminds me, it's similar to former NFL star Darren Sharpner, who has recently settled lawsuits with 3 women who accused him of drugging and sexually assaulting them. You all remember that back in 2015, 16, and he was sentenced to 18 years in prison.
I want to kill him.
It's like these guys, they present on television, especially Darren when he was doing his commentary on SportsCenter and ESPN. They present so well, you would never think this. Now, according to the victim reported that Deshaun Brown wore a face covering and requested that the lights inside the apartment be turned off so he could not be identified. Okay? The victim said that after he and Deshaun had sex, Brown held a knife to his throat and threatened to kill him if he did not give him all of his money. When the victim told Brown he only had credit cards, Brown covered the victim's face with a coat and walked him out to the car and forced him to get inside the back seat. Deshaun Brown drove the victim twice to a nearby ATM to try to get cash, according to police. The victim said that Deshaun then took him back to his apartment, deleted the Grindr app from his phone, and threatened to kill him before leaving. While reviewing surveillance footage from a nearby bank, police found a vehicle that used the ATM twice earlier that morning. Officers found the vehicle parked near a home. Police got a search warrant for the vehicle and the home. When detectives knocked on the door, they were greeted by a man who identified himself as Deshaun Brown. Detectives searched Brown's house and found clothing worn by the suspect on the night of the robbery. They also found 3 credit cards with the victim's name on them. Now, I'm going to let you all watch this video, and I'll be back with the rest of my commentary, and you all know me. I'm Dawson, and I won't hold back.
Bloomington police arrested a former Indiana University football player for robbery and kidnapping. According to police, 21-year-old Deshaun Brown met a man on the app Grindr. The two agreed to meet and have sex. Police say Brown pulled a knife on the man, then threatened to kill him if he didn't give up all of his money. When the man told Brown he didn't have any money, police say Brown forced the man into a car, drove to an ATM where he tried to get money using the man's credit card. Police tracked down Brown using surveillance video from the ATM.
All right, y'all, let's go in. Now, first of all, I want to say that I'm glad that the victim is okay and that you're safe. I'm glad that you reported this issue as well. Now, you got to be careful on these dating apps, these sex apps. There's so many men and women. So many of you all. These stories are a dime a dozen. There's so many out there. People getting robbed, people losing their lives, people setting people up on these dating apps. And I know y'all. I know there's so many of you all out there, and those who listen to my show, men and women, straight, gay, bi, trans, all of you all, y'all, whoever. You're on these dating apps, these sex apps. You're on social media. It's not, you ain't even got to be on a dating app. You could be on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You could be anywhere. Not people sell you a dream. Get in your DMs. Tell y'all everything you've always wanted to hear. And then you let your guard down and meet these people. Tell them to come over to your house. They give you a request. I want to meet here. I want the lights off. I want this. Come on, y'all. Come on. Oh, we're going to meet behind an abandoned building. We're going to meet. Come on, in the woods. This stuff is happening now. There was just a case of this young man right here who met a girl. As soon as the girl got in the car, he attacked the girl. This story is coming out of Utah. His name is Kane Thomas Fairbanks. He attacked the girl as soon as she got in the car. Then he ran and then attacked another elderly woman. And when they asked why did he attack the elderly woman, he said because she was frail and he knew she wouldn't fight back. Some of these people out here are sick. And you all, I know there are people who have found love online. There are people who are happily married. I have a friend who's, she's been with her husband for years. They have, 2 children. They met online. It worked for them. But y'all, I'm telling you, y'all got to be careful. Y'all got to be.
Listen, this online thing ain't no joke. Let me tell y'all this straight up. This online thing ain't no joke, and it ain't nothing I'm going to recommend For people, Mr. People, today me open the door. Out the door. Cause me get some strawberry today now. I mean, whole heap of strawberry because some of them, grow strawberry them. And, it pick strawberry till me couldn't pick strawberry no more. So me out the door. And me have a bag of strawberry and me I try to take off the leaf them off of the strawberry. And you know, so the strawberry them red, so a pea fly start. People me say one fly coming on my house. And me say, from the fly coming on my house, you come at the fly. Bossy. I just see me there, I kill me, want to kill the fly. It come like the fly want to go watch Chicha TV, Heart or Real Talk tonight. A problem. Me and him when me done the live here. Me and him. Come me have a fly spray, I wait for them. Me not unfly, no, me just spray them. What away your bright? From me to do the strawberry, the fly come to the house, and me not see the fly now. From when I know the fly won't appear. Anyways. Somebody says, well, as for me, when I was in Guyana, I never, and I mean I never, was with a man. It was always feelings for a woman. But I never understood it. And then, when I came to the US, I started living my life as a lesbian. When I tell you, my focus is on God now, meaning I am not going to be with a man. I just want to have my peace and focus on God. I went through the worst abuse with her verbally and physically, but I don't hate her. I forgive and wish her the best. Oh my God. All right. So now we see that people are meeting online. And I know a lot of you meet people through social media. You're not necessarily on the Grindr app. You're not necessarily on Tinder and all these apps that are considered for sexual pleasure in. Because Grindr, I think you're supposed to meet people to have sex with them. Is that so? Anybody ever been on the Grindr app on here? Me, I've never been on a dating app or no grinding app. When I know they city they go. Me just feel like that those things just take too much work. I just feel like I'm supposed to go meet up with a that's just weird. To meet up with, I don't barely want to meet you in Walmart, baby. I barely want to meet you in Walmart. So I don't even want to come meet a stranger on a picture that he put up and he don't look the same no more. He put up a picture 15 years ago and he don't look like that no more. He had them 6-packs back in the day, but now he got a little pudge in the belly. But he didn't put up the pudge picture. He put up the picture with a 6-pack. Somebody said I'll never ever go on a dating app. No need to. No need to. But many go on apps and find their wives and find their husbands that they're with now. They have got lucky. Some of them have the apps now. They say Christian mingle. Let me tell you. Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you. I get why they say Christian mingle. I get it. Because you want it to be attracted to the Christian community. But I'm going to tell you something. I would never go on no Christian mingle to meet no Christian. Somebody can simply say they're a Christian, guys. Come on. Come on. They can say that they attend TD Jake's church. They can say they've been in church for 10 years. They can say they're an upstanding moral guy, or upstanding moral female. And they can show you the outfit where they're dressed in the long sleeves and the high heels and they got a hat on and they look the part. Come on, y'all. And it's also a target for predators. Because when they hear Christian mingle, they're going to think that there's some amazing, innocent Christian-like people on there. I'm sure there is. But there's some devils, I'm sure, that's going over there targeting people that are good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that stuff is not safe. The internet in 2022, guys, I do not encourage you. Hear me out. I do not encourage you. Don't meet nobody online. That stuff ain't... And not only that, guys, you lose your life. Not only that, people are losing their life behind all this right now as well. People meet people and take their life. We just see the story that I just shared with y'all. He met the guy on Grindr, and it's actually somebody very popular. He met the guy on Grindr. Guy came over. They had the SEX, After he was done, the guy put a gun on him. He tell him, hey, I ain't got no cash. Boom. All right. He take him to the ATM. The ATM camera did capture him. All right. He came back to the house. I mean, when you really think about it, this guy willy-nilly acted like he wasn't going to get caught or reported. And he threatened to take the guy's life. He threatened to take the guy's life. I'm so paranoid about meeting men on social media or dating app. I read too many sad stories. Yes, and those stories are real. There's countless stories we can pull up on that. You know what? Let me see if I can pull one up for y'all so we can watch. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. All right. Let me see. All right, let me see. Remember, go subscribe to Dawson Speaks TV. Remember that. D&D. He's really, really good. I love what he does. All right, so we're gonna watch this small one right here. All right, wait, let me see if I can. Let's watch a little. See, this one is a crime. If we can see if this is a crime video, I just pulled a random video, so we'll see. I prefer to end the fast for that I get a husband. Okay, darling. Yeah. All right, so let me go ahead and share this on the screen for y'all. This is a random video I post, so we're gonna watch it together. I don't know if it's a good one, but let's see. We see together. Me watching this together. This fly on me, I go kill it. Me not care.
And this is an interesting one. Reddit is the place to go to find everything gay. Mic drop. From memes and jokes to adult content, news, and stories from users, including stories about bad Grindr hookups. One user posted this week, who was a mortuary student, had his hookup ask him, quote, "Wouldn't it be strange if you just disappeared tonight?" Another had a hookup's boyfriend come barging in, brandishing scissors. And that is our hot topic for tonight. We want to talk about the dating experience in LGBT, specifically Grindr, but we can move beyond that. And we call this Grindr horror stories that'll keep you up at night, but not in a good way. What do you think about how LGBT is dating? We've been through pandemic where we almost exclusively hooked up through sites like Grindr. It's changing a little bit, but what do you think about the hookup experience for LGBT?
I hook up most often through Amazon. I want to know, but honestly, I have to say, if Eric's here at home watching, I have no idea what hooking up is. I've never heard of this Grindr thing. I can't weigh in on this.
Wait, he told two bad jokes in a row, back to back. Good for you.
Thank you.
Wait, good for you.
I've always said that I wish women had something like this, right? Like, a couple of years before my wife, I was sleeping with this girl that make apps. So we were going to do Grind Her, right? And none of the girls wanted to be a part of it. Like, it wasn't, well, and then I cheated on her, and then things happened, and she closed down the app. So here we are.
My Grindr handle name is Faye.
Hey, what?
Say what?
Are we almost done yet?
How far away? Because the ball's right there.
Oh, wow.
Luna, it says, is 5 feet away.
No, but I mean, seriously. Okay, so profile pics, a lot of people use an old profile pic or something like that. Like, have you ever gone on have you ever hooked up, John, met with somebody somewhere and they didn't look how they did on their site?
It's usually their reaction to me.
What is their reaction to you?
That's not your picture.
Guys, I'm going to do a different video. This video is boring. I don't want
I
to
do.
From 1994?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find something else. I'm going to give you guys something else. I want a boring video on here. We're going to watch a reaction video. So let's watch a reaction video. And we'll see that together. Hold on. Give me a second. Let's see how it starts here. All right. Hold the fort. Hold the fort, me chatters. Hold the fort, me there. Good girl. All right, let me share this with y'all. Come and watch a boring old video with the old people all night. Me love the old people, but they're not saying nothing festive enough for me. We want to see a couple horror stories on here that we want to get to. We want something where we bun with and we say, whoa, wow. And that we want to say. All right?
Dating horror stories. Number 10. A hookup on Tinder could have turned nasty after two
All right, this one is
siblings
Tinder.
unknowingly swiped right for one another. Eric DeVries and Josephine Egberts were separated after their parents' divorce in 1999. As the years passed, the siblings lost touch and they didn't know each other's whereabouts. DeVries instantly flirted with his young blonde sister after they matched on the dating app, which is intended for
brother and sister, they match up on app.
Luckily, after
They got on, yes, sir.
similarities and attempting to delve deeper into her past, he finally confirmed it was in fact his sister Josephine. The two met in a cafe and were finally reunited. Number 9. Fraudsters posing as attractive young women are
It's actually not a horror story. It's actually a pretty well-made story about reunition of.
Listen, young man, me and you not go deal neither.
Basically, yeah, they saw each
Me and this man not go deal. No, brother.
and they thought,
No, brother.
fuck, I will bang that motherfucker and shit.
No, brother. Me and you not deal. Come off my screen. Come off my screen. Me not want to hear that. Come off my screen. You're wicked. Me not know where you talk or where you smoke up. I have to find one good story. I have to find one because I watch them all the time. But I try to find one specific one. We can't find it. I brought my wife online. This is the story. Okay, let's watch this one. Let's watch this one.
When in a relationship, a real man doesn't make his woman.
No, wait a minute. I want to be careful with the one I come. I want nothing to make me go too paranoid and too crazy. All right. I mean, I have to show no one of them a story. I'm not true scary cyber stalking stories. I don't want to react because everybody's not a good reaction person. They're not. All right, hold on. I'm going to look for the most popular ones. All right, so let's go here. All right, let's watch this one. All right. Let's do this one. And because this one is more like set up better, so let's do this. All right, there we go.
So this was around 7 years ago when this happened, and I never felt
I like the
doing
drama
anything
sound.
about
You
it
know,
or
I like the
even talking
drama.
about this
Some
experience.
like it. All right, listen now, guys.
But
Sorry
I just
for
wanted to
having
explain my story so that others may get how dangerous it can be to meet people from online. So I was meeting with this guy from an application from OkCupid or Tinder, but I highly doubt it was Tinder. The guy looked pretty normal from their profile, really just an average guy. I'm a curvy 21-year-old female at the time. The place that I'm originally from was a really small town, so even to meet people was pretty hard for me. I'm not really much of a social person, so this is just how I met people, and I would do this all the time. So I mean, what could really go wrong? Anyways, we had a few texts that went back and forth. Then we exchanged numbers. They had told me to meet them at the house that they're currently renting. This was probably during about 1 p.m. or noon, so I didn't really think anything of it since it was in the middle of the day. The only thing is the place was in a secluded small town where I'm pretty sure pretty much everyone was at work.
We soon talk
I
about
walked up
that,
to the place
Lindsay.
they told me to go to after parking on the street in front of it. It just looked like a small house. Nothing too creepy looking. I walk up to the house and I didn't even have to knock. This guy then came right out of the house. He didn't invite me in, and then when I stepped inside, it was looking to be a house that was mostly abandoned for like storage reasons or something. This probably should have been a red flag since everything was covered by cloth except for the airbed. They basically knew I was uncomfortable, and they told me we could take a walk if I wanted to. Now we just walked around the neighborhood, but it was mostly a really dead one. There was a baseball field there, and we pretty much just sat there, not even really talking that much. We were just standing there, and then out of nowhere, he then starts forcing me on the ground. I try to fight him because I thought I would be stronger, but I'm still a weak person, and he's pulling my pants down now. I wanted to scream. I managed to get loose from him though, and I ran out of the baseball field while pulling up my pants. I ran for my car, got inside, then peeled out of there. Luckily, the guy didn't follow me. I never ended up reporting this because I was just so shaken up about it. I'm a pretty stupid person, and I drove back.
Listen, let me tell you something. First thing first, when you see you go invite me on a date somewhere and it's gonna look abandoned, baby, we got a problem. Like, let me tell you something about me. Me's like a rat. Me's a rebel bad. Let me tell you something. Me come like a guinea pig. Me run. Listen to me tell me, me's a runner. Me's a shot star. This is a flyer, righty. Me's a runner. Me a track star. When trouble take me, me gone far. Nobody can catch me. Me a take off. Hey, me not ask nobody. Me not look back. Hey, let me tell you something right now. When me take off, not even Usain Bolt that go catch me. When I take off, Usain Bolt is going to have to call me because I'm gone. The moment I come and I see that the grass is too high, the moment I come and I see that there's too much dust on the windowsill, me say, wait there, this is an abandonment place. This is a place where I don't know if it's a regular place. Don't follow strangers. No, let's say that pray for pastor, give her husband. Let me tell you something. Yeah, it's pastor can pray for you, but most naturally that's something that you talk to God about as well. Like, it's cool for pastor to pray for you, but don't depend on pastor to find you a brother in the church to say, all right, this brother does work for me. Let me plug my computer in because it's gonna die. All right. We not listen. I typically don't go to pastor about me getting a husband. Like, that's something I talk to God about on my own. Like, I don't even got time to be going, pastor, I need a husband. You know, pray for me that God give me brother so and so. You know, like I'm just kidding, but no, I don't. There's something that you talk to God about, and as well as you go out and you anticipate. Sometimes some of you don't go nowhere. You expect, you know what I'm saying? You don't go nowhere. You expect God to provide you a husband, but you don't go anywhere. You don't even go to the movies. You can't meet no man sitting in that house all day long. You can't meet no woman sitting in that house all day long. All right? But for this scenario, she met this person online and they took her to a weird place. Things were covered with sheets and they made it seem like it was okay. You know, she went around, she talked, walked around, but the guy was just making her feel like it's an okay atmosphere, when in all reality, it wasn't. Guys, it's a dangerous thing. Oh my God. The guy jump on her now at this point and start to sexually harass her. And good thing she got away. A lot of people get sexually harassed at gunpoint. Literally sexually harassed at gunpoint. So for this girl, she got away. She better give God thanks.
They looked so shady and creepy to me, and I had asked if they heard of the guy that lives there. That's when they told me that they've never heard of him and no one's even living there. Then the same two guys try and get close to me and try to get me out of my car, but I just drove off. I honestly don't really know why I wanted to drive back there in the first place. I guess I just wanted confirmation on what actually happened. I did report the online profile, but it was like this guy was a ghost or something, because no one even knew him and I couldn't find him anywhere else. Like many others have said before me, just really be careful of the people you meet and always meet in public places. You'll thank me later. This happened during the summer of 2001. I just completed my sophomore year of college, so I created a profile on Yahoo Personals. I replied to some ads and I then got to chatting with some young ladies. However, some of the conversations died down and I didn't really hear anything further, and I figured they found someone else or just lost interest. One of the ads I responded to really stood out to me. Her username was Virgin Girl with some really odd numbers after it. We lived about 2 hours away from each other. She seemed to take a real interest in me, telling me how I sounded different from all of the other guys she's met and how she really wants to get to know me better. We began emailing each other and chatting on Yahoo Messenger pretty regularly. However, she seemed to like to talk about sex a lot, telling me about some of her experiences, and it didn't really feel like she was that into getting to know each other first. It's not that I didn't want to get intimate with her, but I mean, we hadn't even met yet, and this topic just seemed to come up way too early on. To be honest, it actually made me kind of uncomfortable, but I just went along with it for the time being. We exchanged a few photos via email, and she seemed to really like mine. However, the one that she sent me, it looked like an old photo. Then there was an attachment she sent to me that my virus protection picked up as a virus. Needless to say, I didn't open it. I did, however, mention it to her, but she didn't even say anything about it. That should have been my first red flag. Her and I got into talking about a couple of things we liked of more of a sexual nature. We had also talked about meeting. She had mentioned about a male friend of hers who had actually passed my town pretty regularly, and meeting up with him to engage in some type of sexual activity and get a feel for me. Now this was really a red flag. Why did I have to meet up with some guy to get to her? What exactly did he plan on doing with me or to me? Something just sounded really odd with this. I told her I wasn't into that and I'm definitely not comfortable with it. She then told me it was okay, and she asked if I would meet him at a local Walmart and that he would bring a pair of her panties to me. I said that I would with no actual intention of doing this, so this was just getting so weird and I was really starting to lose interest at this point. It was now August, and the day afterwards I was to meet this dude at the Walmart. I told her I wasn't into this. We had chatted for a bit and we agreed to just be chatting buddies on Messenger. However, I just ended up blocking her shortly after, and I never heard from her again after that. I'm really glad that I never gave her my phone number or my address.
First and foremost, when people ask you to do weird stuff, that's the first sign that we not gonna do this. First of all, you don't belong on the app. But if you was on the app, let me tell you something. When they ask you to do weird stuff, that's one of the biggest signs that we not gonna get down. We're not getting down. Another thing people are using too, when they meet up with you guys in these apps, they're giving you stuff to drink. Hey, have a drink. Have a drink with me. And they put something in the drink and you don't even know what's in that drink. You don't even know what's in that drink. I am telling you. So I encourage everybody, don't get on these apps. Oh my God. I prefer, like Lindsay said, that the pastor pray for you. Because at the end of the day, not that he gonna give you a wife or a husband, but it's better you do that than to get on that app. I mean, some of these apps are directly geared towards sex. So to me, I don't think that sex is that important. For you meeting up with a stranger, if you're that burning and you need satisfaction, you're gonna have to probably get to the toy store, because at the end of the day, it is not worth your life. Hear it from me now. It is not worth your life. I don't care if he's fine. I don't care if he got the good hair. I don't care what his skin complexion is. I don't care if his status say he's a millionaire and he took a picture against a BMW or Mercedes. I don't care what the man looked like. He could have put a fake picture up. This is a risk you take with your life. This is a risk you take when you go on these sites seeking attention. And what I know, some of you, it's been a while for you to, be with somebody. You need to take yourself out to the movies or something. You ain't going to meet nobody sitting at the house all day. You work 3 shifts. You work 7 days a week. You don't take a day off. And when it's your day off, you go back and pick the shift up. And you're trying to meet a man. Sit down somewhere. You ain't want a man, girl. Vice versa. Guy, you won't want a wife. Because if you think being a man is working 7 days a week and make no time for your family, and because you provide bread on the table, baby, you're missing out on your kids' future. Dr. Lova said it. Let me tell you something. You're missing out on your kids' future. Don't do that. This is a risk you really, really take. And I just don't encourage anybody to be a part of that. Guys, let me tell you something. It's not cute. It's dangerous. It is dangerous. I encourage you, even if you're burning and you feel like, my gosh, it is better you get to the store. If you feel like I can't go another day and you're that burning up in yourself, don't get on there, put no sexy pictures of your boobs out, your buttocks out, and stuff like that. These people are perverts. These people are not all innocent. Now, while I know that there's people that's on these apps that are good people, yeah. However, you're still risking your life. It's like, I would say, a needle in a haystack. You're going in there, there's 1,000 people that's creepy and crawly and weird that you will never be with, but there's probably a couple that's good, and it's hard to sift through to figure it out. And you might have to go on 20 days before you figure that out. Hey, girl, I don't got time. I ain't getting on We are not getting on that app. Me too lazy. I'm too lazy. I swear. I'm too lazy, baby. I am too lazy. This is why I don't hunt people down. This is why I'm not argue and go back and forth with people. Me too lazy. Me can't bother. I don't have time. So right now, I tell you right now, if you have a buckle, I go on inside of you. Anybody can have a buckle. But if you feel like this is, and you feel like you're going to break, please, I am begging you, please do not go on these sites. Your life is in danger. Trying this out, your life is in danger. All right? Now, we know that there are sites geared towards the LGBTQ community where people feel like, okay, I'm more comfortable with this. I'm more comfortable with that. I don't care what community you are in. There's crazy people in each and every community. All right? Because there's perverts out there hiding their sexuality and taking advantage of children and taking advantage of people, going and R-ing them in hotel rooms and holding them at gunpoint and robbing them. Let me tell you something. There is a sick world out there. And I'm just asking you to be careful. This is your girl, Chit Chat TV, because over here, we have those art talk, real talk conversations. And you know that these conversations are not popular, but they're very relevant. Remember, you don't view somebody by their sexuality. You don't choose somebody because they're deemed a part of the LGBTQ community or any other community, rather, whether somebody's religiously a part of another community as well. People are people. They're individuals, such like you. You want respect? Give it. So, guys, have a blessed night. It's your girl, Chit Chat TV. Bye.
Hey guys, this is your girl Anique, and it is Chit Chat TV, where we have those hard conversations. If you don't have me on Chit Chat TV _ on the gram, what are you